Today I'm joined by my guest Emily Graham from Rightval. How are you doing, Emily?
Hello, I'm good, thank you. Yourself?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Thanks for joining us. We're going to talk about something that used to be a sort of a massive buzzword, but is still, I think, in my opinion, a huge essential.
Mhm.
And those are instant val tools. So
Yeah.
Rightval is a really sort of agile val tool with several different options. And I know it's been around for a while and agents have
Mhm.
been loving it and using it, generating leads through it for many years now. But it's been updated. So we've got some new updates that you're going to talk about.
Yeah.
But for those people that aren't familiar with Rightval, I'm sure everybody knows what an instant valuation tool might look like. But give us just an overview of perhaps what makes Rightval a little bit different.
So, Rightval was actually created by some of you probably know, Roy Fever,
Yeah.
um, and Matt. So Matt was kind of what we call the techie guy, behind the screen. So any tech issues he deals with, not me. Um, Now he used to work with BA and do like the training plane platforms. So his knowledge of tech is just mind blowing. And then obviously Roy being an estate agent, he wanted something that was like a one-click wonder. He found a lot of
Yeah.
instant valuation tools before Rightval was created they weren't very easy to use, they weren't easy to set up. There was a lot of tie-ins for long periods, and he just wanted to get away from that. He just wanted a one set price, no contractual tie-ins, no setup fees, and just really easy to set up, really easy to do, like manage and be done with. So that is they got chatting, and that is how Rightval was made, and that was 6, 7 years ago. So, and then obviously I joined 4.5 years ago now. And I've been managing kind of and doing the digital marketing, doing the client right van managed, fully nurtured parts of it as well. So usually most clients will come through myself. But yeah, so that's kind of how it got going. And yeah, like I
Do you
said,
mind if we look at those sort of options? Because I think that's also something that
mhm,
makes Rightval a little bit more unique. So this isn't just, I mean, it can be if you want to. Within
yeah,
5 minutes, I think, is your record. You can get an agent
yeah,
set up on Rightval. They can be using it and deploying it on their website and using it not just on their website because you can drive traffic to it, can't
mhm,
you, on social media. So many different things that you can do with it to get people in and to get
yeah,
their information and to really get an active lead out of them. But I think what makes you a little bit different as well is that you've got these options to have it managed
yeah.
as well. So explain to us how that works and why an agent might consider doing that.
So the right of our managed product is actually for those who don't necessarily fully understand Facebook ads, or they're not comfortable using Facebook ads themselves.
Yeah.
So the right of our managed product is 199 a month. Again, no contractual ties or setup fees. Okay, £29 for the tool. You got £100 of Facebook ad spend included in that.
So it's a lot of value there, isn't it?
Yeah. And then obviously the £70 is the management fee. Okay. Um, with that, what we do is the tool is exactly the same on all our platforms. Okay. So your leads go straight into your dashboard as they would, as if it was on your website, as if you were doing it, etc. But we actually do the Facebook ad for you. Okay. So we run it off our platform,
Yeah.
okay, which is called Your Local Property Expert. The reason that we do that is, from our knowledge, these specific type of adverts work much better when they're not actually tied to an estate agency, because they see they're tied in. When they see an estate agency page, they're tied into something.
Yeah. Whereas more generic, they will speculate, won't they? Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why we keep them separate. Okay. And then we get the leads for you. They go straight to your dashboard. You'll get the email as per usual. Okay. And then they're down to you to follow up. Okay. And then you've got the fully nurtured product, which is the fully managed, but for the extra £100, it's got a built. So I will actually build you your own email marketing platform for your Rightval leads.
I think that's the best. I think that's the best bit of the. I know it's the icing on the top, but I think that's the bit that we're the follow up, if you like,
Yeah.
and the nurture is where we're always really weak as
Mhm.
agents. It is. Let's face it. When you get a lead in and you need to sort of pick up the phone and say, "Hey, you've inquired. It looks like you're curious about the price of your property. Would you like me to send David out to see you, have a nice chat with you about it?" But it's always the follow-up of these things that
Yeah.
is where you fall down. So if you don't get in on the day, it's not a no. It's just
No.
it's a really good lead still.
Yeah.
And it's a maybe, but it needs to be nurtured.
100%.
And that email nurture programming really for the money it's
Yeah.
phenomenal value.
Yeah. So, I mean, what we find is a lot of our customers, especially when we first launched Rightval Fully Managed, was they were getting the leads and then they were calling them once or twice, and that was it. They weren't nurturing them.
Yeah.
Now, if these clients are cold to the estate agent or the letting agent, chances are they're not gonna at that point go, yes, I want you, a stranger, I don't know anything about you and your brand, to come around my house and
Yeah.
sell my biggest asset. You know,
Yeah.
it's unheard
That's
of.
the
You
reason. Yeah. Really
Yeah.
reasonable that.
So because of that, like I will always say to my clients, whether they're on the self-managed, they're thinking of the right about free nurtured, the nurture program, whether you do it through ourselves, okay, or you set one up yourself, you know, and go with the self-managed or the fully managed, it is so important that you are nurturing your leads, because it's the nurture sequence that you can pass on to all of your leads, you know,
Yeah.
because otherwise you're paying, say for example, you're paying 60p, £2, etc., whatever it is, a lead. If you're calling them and then that's it, that's effectively £2 you've wasted,
Yeah.
you
Whereas
know?
whereas this gives you more bites of that cherry, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And it sort of it gets you further down the road with them. And you can never tell really at what point somebody's going to have a life event that triggers that move. And so keeping in
Exactly.
touch with them, to me, I tell you what, the best value of that is that very often you might have turned somebody's head with one of these adverts
Mhm.
and registered, but they may never call another agent out to value their house if you're
Yeah,
already in touch with them.
exactly. That's the thing. So, I mean, if you think how many agents will send out leaflets, yeah, and it's constant, but then how many of the agents do you see really nowadays that are constantly in front of you via different platforms, whether that's a mix of email marketing, Facebook ads, Google ads,
Yeah.
you know, it's about having that balance of the marketing to constantly just be in front of them. So when you are ready to make that, they are ready to make that purchase and that move, they don't have to go, oh, who am I going to call? Because
Yeah.
you've been there, you know, they're looking at you and going, well, it's that person because they've sent me market updates, they've sent me, you know, my landlord legislation updates. So they know their stuff.
They're constantly front of mind. So I
Yeah.
mean, those are the three sort of products that you've got
Mhm.
there, the three packages, and I think there's something for everybody.
Yeah.
But there has been updates to the actual sort
Yeah.
of behind the scenes workings in terms of data and other things. So
Yes.
um give us your updates.
So the actual software itself, so where we get the data from, okay. Matt is still doing some um back work with regards to actually how the software actually looks. So he's still doing some of them.
Yeah.
Okay. So you will notice that over probably the next 6 months to a year, there will be like little changes here and there. Okay. But our main change is where we're actually getting the data from now. So we've added some new suppliers, one of them being the great company called Sprift, which I know many
Yeah.
agents have heard of and many use. So before, our data was working off of, you know, sold price data, which obviously after lockdown, where we had that massive 25% change in house prices,
Yeah.
was making instant valuation tools sometimes, lack behind a little bit.
Yeah, it was the market was just
Yeah,
simply moving so quickly, wasn't it?
exactly. Whereas Sprift, their data is different, their data's more accurate, it's more live,
And it's a
so
combination of different factors, isn't it? So it's
yeah,
not just sold. So sold house data tends to get stale quickly because,
yeah,
well, first of all, it's of its time, but secondly, sometimes it could take the land registry 2 or 3 months to
yeah,
update, so you're always playing catch up. But I think, if I'm not mistaken, the Sprift data brings in on the market data.
yeah,
It brings things that are under offer and sold and are being marketed still for sale. They've got a wealth of data on properties that have been tried and withdrawn. So
yeah,
you're really drawing all those data points together, and
exactly.
yeah,
And that's what we're doing because I mean we know so many agents that use Sprift themselves, to take out on valuations and use that as a data point to go, this is what your house is worth. So by us then bringing that data into our tool, it means, you're not getting them calls where they're going, you know, oh, that was really undervalued, like my house is worth more than that kind of
yeah,
thing. Obviously, we don't want the price to be 100% accurate because we want you to go out there still,
yeah.
but we want that happy phone call.
You don't want to lose people by offending them or by it seeming silly, either over ambitious or wildly under.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So that's why like the new data, and we have been waiting for it for a while because obviously it's taken so much, obviously going back and forward between the two companies, doing the API key and making sure that it is 100% where it should be.
yeah.
Okay. And kind of fixing like little bits here and there. But yeah, it is now live and
And that's fully baked in now.
fully
So,
baked in. Yeah,
it's there.
yeah, and our clients are loving it. You know, they are saying like this is much better, it's much more accurate. Um, and yeah, they're just enjoying it. The graph has gone, so it will also give you, so before the clients would get like some prices and a graph. Now what they get is actually the prices and kind of houses that are like that one
Yeah,
are currently for sale in
comparables.
the
Yeah,
area. Yeah.
yeah,
So it also gives them that as well, but they can still book the appraisal in. Um, you can still connect your, if you've got Drip, MailChimp, any webhooks, open API key, that kind of thing as well. So it's still got all of the really good nitty-gritty stuff as well, that set our tool kind of apart from some others. So yeah, it's still got all of that stuff, but the data is just much more rich.
yeah. So it's dead affordable as we've discussed. And in
Mhm.
terms of sort of commitment, um, what are you looking for from an agent in terms of contract length?
So normally, okay, so if they're not a Kerfuffle customer, it is you get a 14-day free trial on the self-managed only. Okay, unfortunately, we can't extend that to the others. Um, but yeah, 14-day free trial. You don't have to put your billing details in till the 14 days are actually up as well.
Yeah.
So you're not even
It's
tied
it's really free.
in.
It's not like,
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. And then by that point, okay, if you do wish to carry on, then the self-managed is £29 a month plus VAT.
yeah.
Okay. But like I said, there is no contractual times and there is no setup fees. So when you do want to cancel, okay, all you do is you go into your settings, scroll right down to the bottom on the left-hand side, and there is a cancellation button, and it is that simple.
What have you got to lose for that sort of money? You definitely give it a try. Especially you might even be using another Val tool at the moment, but want to see what the difference is, and there can be a world of difference. And I know that I've tried a few in my time, and you always get a very different
Mm,
sort of reaction from the audience, and some, like you say, some valuations, if they've got context to them, make you
yeah,
seem a lot more reasonable, and it can be done. You've got fantastic Kerfuffle offer as well,
yeah,
which extends that free period, doesn't it?
yes. Yeah, so you actually get a full 28-day free trial with Kerfuffle. So, which is great if, you're, um, say for example, you're building your website, and you're you need the tool there ready, then that's perfect. Or alternatively, if you just, you want to extend your free trial, perfect. You get a month free. Who doesn't want that?
Well, lovely, helpful, easy to work with. That's all the feedback that we get for you guys. So highly recommend people to check it out. Emily, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much. Take care.